Welcome everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful week. We read in this week's Parshas Ekev, the very significant mitzvah of Birchas Hamazon. And the Torah tells us in Perek Hey, we're introduced to the bounties of Eretz Yisrael. Eretz, Chita v'Sora v'Gefen v'Teran v'Rimon, Eretz Zayis Shemen v'Dvash, Eretz Asher Lo b'Miskenus Tochal Ba'Lechem Lo Sechsar Ba Kol Ba, Eretz Asher Avaneh Barzel Mareh Tachsav Nechoshes, and the land that has everything. And then in that context, Ve'achalta v'Savata uve'rakta es Hashem Elokecha al ha'aretz ha'tova asher nosan lach. And then we have a mitzvah of Birchas Hamazon. So what we see from the Psukim itself is that the Torah ties the mitzvah of Birchas Hamazon to also a bracha, not just praising Hashem for the food that He gives us, but also praising Hashem for al ha'aretz ha'tov asher nosan lach. And indeed, when we look at the Birchas Hamazon itself, we note that the second bracha is the first bracha. We are thanking Hashem for hazonas hakol, for food, but the second bracha already it shifts to al ha'aretz for al hamazon. We go ahead and shift, not just thanking Hashem for the mazon, but also for the aretz, and that was the bracha that Chazal tell us was nitkan, was decreed, was taught to us, was given to us by Yehoshua. And then the very next bracha, the last of the three brachos doraisa, is we expand further and we thank Hashem uvenei Yerushalayim. We thank Hashem for the kedushas Yerushalayim, the mikdash after Churban, also that it should be rebuilt bimheira ve'ameinu. So while the bracha Birchas Hamazon is fundamentally about food, but it expands not just about the food that we eat, but the aretz that it comes from, and specifically Eretz Yisrael, and also to Yerushalayim. In fact, Rav Shol Yisraeli argued that the reason the Rambam doesn't count Yishuv Eretz Yisrael as a mitzvah and is part of his Minyan HaMitzvah, 613, is because it's really part of the mitzvah. It's counted in the mitzvah of Birchas Hamazon. Because after all, if the Torah is telling us to praise Hashem for al ha'aretz ha'tov asher nosan lach, and that's part of what we're thanking Hashem Birchas Hamazon, so of course, obviously, it's implicit and noted that, of course, it's a mitzvah of living in Eretz Yisrael. Why would we praise the land in Birchas Hamazon every time we bench if there was no such mitzvah? So he argues that the Rambam didn't count it as an independent mitzvah because it's part of the mitzvah of Birchas Hamazon. What emerges, however, is something very, very striking, is that the Torah planted, if you will, a shevach of what I will call more nationalistic, more global things in the context of Birchas Hamazon. In fact, this is nogea l'halacha. If in Birchas Hamazon you omit, for example, we have other things that are inserted. You have, for example, al brischa shechasamta bivsareinu. Bris Milah is inserted into the second bracha of Nodecha. You have al Torah shemalatanu. Torah is inserted. And then you have al eretz chemda tova urechava. And the Gemara tells us, quoted halacha by the Rambam and Shulchan Aruch, that if you omit by accident al brischa shechasamta, al Torah shemalatanu, that's not ma'akev. You are yotzei Birchas Hamazon if you omitted those insertions. If you omitted, however, al eretz chemda tova urechava, so that's part of the matbeah habracha. That's significant. That's part of the bracha itself. That's part of the psukim themselves. And as a result, you are not yotzi. You have to be chozer. It's no coincidence that, in terms of those insertions, that's what gets inserted into the me'ein shalosh, the alamichya al eretz chemda tova uruchava gets inserted into the alamichya me'ein shalosh, whereas brischa shechasamta al torah shemalatonu does not get inserted. In any event, what emerges over here is that while the mechayiv of the bracha is ve'achalta ve'savata, it's a bracha on food, but now the Torah says, but don't stop there. Understand, where does the food come from? The food comes from al ha'aretz hatova. Appreciate the unique foods, the shivas haminim, the unique foods of Eretz Yisrael. And then comes along David HaMelech and says, don't just stop there. Appreciate the profundity of Yerushalayim, Yirah Kodesh. And then Chazal in the fourth bracha, Hatova Meita, said, don't stop there. Appreciate the other nisim that happen along the way. And perhaps, again, this idea which you find in Chazal in a lot of different places, in a lot of different examples, I'll just cite a few. But you have this idea that one thing prompts a bracha, one thing prompts a sense of shevach, But the Torah doesn't want you to isolate your shevach, your thank you, to that little thing. Once you are a thankful person, a person who gives gratitude, so now reflect on the scope of your life. Reflect on other areas of gratitude. Don't limit it to that narrow place. Once you appreciate something that is so vital, so primal, so daily as the food that we eat, so incorporate it into that daily necessity, which we all get. We all get that we couldn't survive 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. We see a fast day, what it does to us. We all get the importance of Hakaras HaTov, the necessity of food, but then says the Torah and say Chazal, expand out. Look at the rest of your life. Look at Eretz Yisrael. Look at Torah and mitzvos. Look at Yerushalayim. Look at Hatov v'Hametiv. Look at everything. And realize that in the same sense that you're getting this v'chalta v'savata, this sustenance, expand out. Do not limit it to that fashion. It's the same idea we have by Hanukkah, for example. On Hanukkah, we commemorate and we celebrate the nace of the Pach HaShemen, but that was a supernatural miracle, and we note that and we celebrate that. We light our candles, but Al Hanisim tells us, don't stop there. Appreciate the Milchama, appreciate the other things that were going on that produced the salvation. This is the famous Ramban on Parshas Bo, where the Ramban tells us, why do we place such a premium on Yetzias Mitzrayim? So the answer is, Tefillin is Yetzias Mitzrayim, Mizuzah, Kriyat Shema, all these mitzvahs, the Pesach Seder, all these mitzvahs are about Yetzias Mitzrayim. Why? Because when you appreciate what Hashem did for us in Mitzrayim, so now you'll reflect on other aspects of your life, and you'll say, wow, Hashem's doing everything for me. Hashem is giving me the air that I breathe, the food that I eat, the health that I have, the parnasa that I have, the shidduchim that I seek. All of that is also coming from Hashem. So from the nisim, we can expand out. So what you find is, when it comes to Hanukkah, we take a supernatural miracle. When it comes to Yetzias Mitzrayim, a supernatural miracle, and we look to apply that to our daily lives, to look at the nisim that are in the ordinary. When it comes to Birchas Hamazon, perhaps it's the exact opposite, is that we take our most primal need that we feel on a daily basis. When we're hungry, we feel it all the time, and now we have a sense of satiation, v'achalta v'savata, give thanks, but then realize that also Hashem is involved in more global activities as well, in going ahead and orchestrating, having those causes, those situations of Hakaras HaTov, Eretz Yisrael, Yerushalayim HaTov HaMeitiv, and expand that sense of bracha. So on the unique holidays, on the unique mitzvahs, Yetzias Mitzrayim, Chanukah, we take national events and we try and bring it home. When it comes to Birchas Hamazon, we take a daily occurrence and we try and expand out. Think about living a life of gratefulness, of thankfulness, of being a person who's always having that sense of Hakaras HaTov. It changes everything. That's what the Sefer HaChinuch writes in this week's parsha. To become a thankful person, a beneficent person, that brings bracha. By giving bracha, it brings bracha. May we all be blessed in everything that we do.